But tonight we have a treat for you. As I would like to say, I feel like we have a treat every week, but this is another Fasting Work Girl Chat. And as soon there, I see Al, and he's going to send me the meeting request. And then I will accept, and we will go live. Give us just a second. Al's going to send me the request. Is it coming through? Well, I can't. Let me see. Go. Here we go. All right, Al, I just sent you a request that says go live. And people are just tuning in. I think they're excited to see you. There you are. Hi, Al. How are you?
There you are. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hey. All right. So, guys, I'm going to give our little disclaimer that I always give. And basically, thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another Fasting Work Girl Chat. Even though I am a physician, I am not your physician. So, the information that we discuss is for informational purposes. Before starting a new lifestyle plan, exercise plan, whatever you have it, you need to discuss with your healthcare provider to determine if there's any contraindications in your personal situation. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest tonight, which I'm super excited to have Al Zaragoza on our show tonight. I first saw Al about a year ago now. He came across my feed on Instagram and I started following him because I was just so impressed with the progress that he made. And it's always nice to see real life people who have lost weight by introducing different lifestyle changes. And so he's going to tell us about his journey tonight. But to give you a little background on him, he began his journey in October of 2012. And what happened basically was at his physical with his physician, he was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. And prior to that time, he had never had a problem with diabetes before. However, diabetes does run strongly in his family, and he even lost a few family members to diabetes. So because of that, he, quote unquote, was basically scared straight. At the time of getting this diagnosis of pre-diabetes, Al was pushing almost 400 pounds, and he's 5'7" tall. So he realized that he had to do something to take back his health. He began slowly by walking 2 miles a day, several times a week. He started drinking a gallon of water and cutting back on the carbs. And little by little, the weight started coming off. Then after he lost about 100 pounds in a year, for the next couple years, he kind of coasted. His weight didn't really go up too much, but it didn't go he didn't continue weight loss either. However, in June of 2017, he began to learn more about intermittent fasting. And by incorporating intermittent fasting, cutting out sugar, and also doing a low carb diet, he was able to lose another 60 pounds. So to date, he's lost 170 pounds and he's 62 years old, and he is probably in the best health of his life. So with that, I would like to say, welcome, Al. We're so glad to have you tonight.
Oh, I'm glad to be here with everybody.
Thank you. And so I know I kind of already went through a little bit of your story, and we went through kind of like what your starting weight was, but tell us a little bit more about your weight loss journey, because I'm sure other people are either sitting where you were, you know, when we look back in 2012, right, or have started a weight loss journey but noticed slowing in progress. So kind of just tell us about your story. And I agree with the stair lady. The stair lady said you are the man. He is the man, isn't he? All right, go ahead and tell us more.
Thank you. Well, it all started in 2012 with the physical. You know, I always consider myself a fat, healthy guy. Even at my highest weight, 400 pounds, my cholesterol was only 170. You know, and I think that comes from genes, you know, your family background.
Yeah.
And so that physical I had in 2012, my doctor said that I'm pre-diabetic, that if I don't change my ways, I'm going to become full-blown diabetic. And having some diabetics in my family, I had people that had, on dialysis, and people even passed away from diabetes. So that kind of scared me straight. So I don't want to be, I don't want to be there. And I was 56 years old, so I think I didn't get affected by diabetes till 56. I thought I was going to go my whole life without diabetes. So anyway, so I said, I got to do something. They were telling me about, living with this disease or what have you, taking some pills. But I said, no, there's got to be something I can do. So I read up a little bit on that, and I knew I had to lose the weight. So what I did was I started walking like 2 miles, like 4 or 5 times a week, drinking a gallon of water, and just cutting out all the pizzas, all the breads, all the rice, the potatoes, all the carbs basically. And little by little, I noticed, I was losing weight, and I was feeling good and feeling better. And then I started posting on Facebook, and then on Instagram. So anyway, fast forward about a year later, I'm down about 100 pounds, I think, in a year I lost. And I wanted to get light enough where I can ride a bike, because back in the 80s when I was slimmer, I used to do cycling. Oh, so I finally got light enough that I was riding a bike. I was riding a mountain bike at first, and then once I lost more weight, I got a nicer bike, a road bike. So I've been doing now. So I did that for probably the 3 years, and then you feel confident, you feel good, and you start kind of slacking off here and there, having those cheat days, which everybody talks about. And all of a sudden, all of a sudden, fast forward to 2017. Oh, by the way, I also I gave up sugar. I've been sugar free now since 2000, for about 5 years. I've been sugar free. I used to be addicted to Haagen-Dazs. I used to do a Haagen-Dazs pint a day.
Oh wow!
So I don't know why I didn't catch diabetes earlier. But anyway. So I started eliminating sugar. I didn't give it up till about a year later after my journey started. I was still doing a little cheats here and there. And so little by little, I started losing the weight. So then I kind of coasted for a couple of years. So then in 2017, I said, you know what? I really want to get the rest of this weight off. I want to, feel better. I'm getting older. I want to retire. I want to be in the best shape of my life when I retire.
Right.
So I saw something on TV about intermittent fasting, and then I looked at a lot of people that were doing that on Instagram. And one of my relatives, one of my nieces and her husband, they were doing intermittent fasting. They also told me about that. So I tried it. So I started by doing eating between 12 and 6. And no cheats or no snacks, even if they're non-fattening snacking.
Right.
So little by little, so I started just staying with it. Consistency is the trick, I think. You got to stay consistency for whatever plan you're on.
Right.
So then the weight started dropping off again. And so I lost about, I think about 60 pounds, since I started doing that.
Wow.
And I think the whole thing is a mindset. You gotta really want it, because you can say, I tell people, you can read all the motivational quotes, all the memes, all the before and after pictures, but unless you really want it, it's not gonna happen. You gotta do it yourself. So the fasting, right now I'm doing OMAD, 1 meal a day.
1 meal a day.
Since Saturday, and I feel very low carb, low cal. So that's it. I mean,
That's awesome. And I think a few things that you said, several things were key. You know, one, the reducing the sugar, and you talked about how you used to eat, you know, the pint of ice cream or Haagen-Dazs, you know, at night. And I think a lot of people do that, you know, and it's not something
right,
that's talked about. But if we look at kind of like the average, you know, diet in the US, there's a lot of sweets that we do eat, and it may not be ice cream for everyone. It could be, you know, my morning habit is to have 2 donuts in the morning, two
right,
glazed
right,
donuts, or you know, I like to have maybe muffins, cinnamon roll muffins every day, you know, twice a day
right,
as a
right,
snack. But all of that stuff adds in over time. And so I just don't think, and I mean, there's evidence to show too, our bodies, you know, were not designed to consume tons and tons of sugar. I was helping my son with a book report or PowerPoint presentation, and we were looking at sugar,
oh,
and it was something like the average American, it was ridiculous. It was like maybe like 144 pounds of sugar a year by the time you add up all the sugar sources. And it's like, that's a lot of sugar. So I think, you know, you hit several things
right,
on
right.
the head, and you know, we're getting it from a lot of sources. But so that's how you kind of started and got here. Did you have any other health conditions other than the prediabetes that were diagnosed before you started your weight loss journey, or was that pretty much your main issue? Oh, the connection.
I think you're breaking up. Let me see. Can you hear me okay?
Let me see if I can figure out, is it me breaking up, or let me see on my.
Can you hear me? You're breaking up a little bit. You're freezing on me.
Okay, I can see you.
Okay.
Can you see me
Okay,
now?
I see everything's okay. Yeah. Okay. So what was your question?
And everybody tuning in, can you see us both now? I think I see you. Okay. Let us know, guys, if you can't see us so we can readjust. Okay. But so in terms of health conditions, was there anything other than the prediabetes going on?
Yes, I had also. Yeah, now that I remember, yeah, I had the blood pressure too. I remember I was on blood pressure medicine. Yeah, I was on blood pressure medicine for about I think about 2-3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that's so that was a thing too that I then went with. I did the high blood pressure went away. I think probably within a year, the first year or less than a year after I started weight loss.
That's
So,
amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
And so you were able to do
Like
that.
I said, I was a healthy fat guy, you know. Low blood pressure. I mean, yeah, low cholesterol. That was the main thing that nobody believed me. I had to show documents to people at work that was my cholesterol, because these guys are bodybuilders and their cholesterol is like 300, you know. So unreal.
You're like, look at mine. But I think so. Several things that you mentioned that are key. One, with weight loss. So you were still in the process of losing weight. You know, you lost 100 pounds initially, and you were able to come off your blood pressure medicine. And that was even before you lost the additional 60 to 70 pounds. So
75, yes.
A lot of things that, one of the classic things that physicians will say, and I know sometimes we all sound like a broken record, but what we really try to hone for patients, and if your physician hasn't said this, maybe ask them about it, but you can start to see benefits in your health, like decreasing your risk of prediabetes and lowering or coming off of your blood pressure medication with as little as 5 to 10% of weight loss. So the thing is, I also like to tell people when they're starting a journey, you know, yes, maybe there is that, you know, there's a person watching tonight who needs to lose 150 pounds. Well, don't think about that you need to lose 150 pounds. Start with 10 pounds, you know. And
yeah, you can't look at it that way.
20.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, I didn't start off and say, well, I need to lose. Well, I know I needed what I lose a lot, but you know, you got to do it like at 10 pounds. 20 pounds, 5 pounds interval, goals.
Right. I think that's key. And so if you set it up into small goals, there's a quote running around that I've seen on my Instagram feed from several different people, and it basically says, many small steps over time lead to great change. And so I think that's one of the things you don't get overwhelmed, like just start with we know that the initial thing is maybe you need to lose weight so that you can improve your health conditions, and then start there, and then we'll figure out how to do it along the way, and we'll learn along the way. We all learn
right
along the way.
And it may be a cliche, but
I don't know if you could hear me. I think it cut out for a second. Can you hear me again, Al?
Yeah, you kind of break up a little bit. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I see it now. All right, I just changed the position of the phone. So the other thing is, kind of tell us more about how you did it and how you started intermittent fasting.
Well, like I said, the intermittent fasting step, that's what kicked in my final, I don't say my final stage, but my current stage right now is I'm doing intermittent fasting. I just, I just read up on it. I saw a lot of it in the news. I saw a lot of people talking about it, buzzing about it. And I just said, I'm going to try it. So I read up on it. You can do 14 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours. So I said, I'm going to go for the 18 hours. So that's how I started. So, and with my job situation, it's good because I normally work, like I said, it's swing shift. I got weird hours. I work from, my shift can be from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock, from 11 o'clock to 10. So I'm in that business. So we have, anybody that's bought a car, that you got some weird hours, and I work all weekends too. So it's kind of easy for me because of my job to do fasting, because my food and then I eat it, and I don't have to worry about it till the next day, Or sometimes before, when I was doing 12-6, I just eat something at 12, and then I ate a little bit. I used to be scared because I didn't want to be hungry, so I ate before 6 o'clock. But now as I progress, I don't get scared right now. Like if I don't eat before 6, I just, okay, well, that's fine. I'll go to the next day. But the main thing is the snack. I got like an urge to snack at night, at first. And I had some peanut butter. I used to do like a spoonful of peanut butter, but I noticed that wasn't helping me. It was kind of like stuck. So as soon as I took away the snacks, everything fell into place. So like I said, right now I'm just doing one meal right now, and I feel good right now. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do, but if I fall back, I'll fall back to 18-hour fast. So if we go to a special event or a party or family, something where I eat it, but not religiously, but I try to stick to it. Maybe 90% of the time I'm doing some kind of intermittent fasting. And the main thing is the water. Don't forget, you got to drink the water. Yes. I drink tons of water. I got a gallon here. I'm almost done with this every day.
I got my cup of water right here too. So.
Oh, and I drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee too. I don't know if you think that's bad or good, but I don't care. I need coffee. Coffee's good.
Yeah, no, I like coffee too. I like coffee, and I drink tea, both unsweetened, and I try to drink a lot of water. I find that the water aspect for me, so like before I started the intermittent fasting, when I was in my first attending job, like you could always find me with a Diet Coke. And then when we ran out of Diet Coke, I would always drink Diet Mountain Dew. And like, who drinks Mountain Dew? Who drinks Diet Mountain Dew? That doesn't even taste
Yeah.
good. But I would
What's
drink
up with
it.
that?
It's not even good. And like, what happened was our chair at the time had a stash that the clinic manager used to keep stocked. And I would just, I think from being on sugar, do you know what I mean? I would have these highs and lows and crash.
Right,
and so to get back, you know, energy again, I would go and I would like drink Diet Pop with as much, you know, additives or whatever. And yeah, no, the stair lady, I get it. No, I can't believe, I'm telling you, I would drink Diet Mountain Dew. I don't know why. This stuff is disgusting. It's neon green, but I would drink it. And so I think, one, just replacing things that had artificial sugar in it, because I think a big misconception is because it's 0 calorie, it's okay to drink.
Right.
And not if it has artificial sweeteners. I mean, I would have been better off just drinking regular pop, honestly, which is still not good to drink. So I think I don't know if it's just the fact that you're drinking more water and so your cells are, you know, have more nutrients to process, or if it's just because you're replacing all the junk you used to drink with water.
Right.
Maybe it's a combination of both, but there's so many habits that I've given up, and it's resulted in huge change without having to be in the gym for 2 hours, because I don't have time to be in the gym for 2 hours every day.
Right. No, I agree with you 100% right there.
So,
and, excuse me. Now I'm choking up.
That was me yesterday.
Oh yeah. Remember, you were choking up when we were doing the test run. That's right. That's right. Another thing I had a question for you, but man, I forgot what I was gonna ask you. Yeah, when you first started, you started your page in I think it was last year, wasn't it, or a year before?
It's been pretty recently. So I was on Facebook talking about intermittent fasting a year ago, and then I started Instagram, but I wasn't as active. Like, I would post a little bit, but then, but yeah, it was basically in August of 2017. So shortly after you started intermittent fasting,
right?
That's when I started intermittent fasting, because I read this book called The Obesity Code, which I always am telling everyone, like, read this book. It just makes everything so clear.
And you also read Dr. Fung, right?
Yeah, yep, that's his book. Exactly.
Yeah,
and so for me, I think for my weight loss journey personally, I spent many years just doing things because people said to do it. So for example, you know, the common thing was, well, if you're going to lose weight, you need to eat several times a day and have all these snacks because of the thermogenic effect of food. Well, I'm studying for my obesity medicine boards right now, and the thermal effect of food only accounts for 10% of all energy expenditure all day. So I don't really care how much you eat. That's only 10, like that's not gonna make you lose weight because of that. So
right. Hey, I have another question for you, by the way.
Yes.
You know, I've been following you for like and you've been holding out on us. I didn't know you were a doctor. You didn't post that you were your doctor till about a month or two ago. What's up with that?
So what's up with
You've been
that?
holding out
for a few things. One,
you know, because I remember you, the lady with the nice media room. You know.
Yeah, because that's where I do all my beach body workouts in my husband's man cave, and so there were a few things that happened. One, there is a big medical blogger online. Her name is Story of Style, and I actually went to residency with her. And I asked her one day, I said, you tell people that you're a doctor, you know, aren't you afraid that they're gonna, you know, say that you told them to do something and then they're gonna sue you? I mean, because this is the world we live in. And she was like, well, she said, put a disclaimer on your page. And I also talked to a lawyer because I want to see what they said.
Okay.
And they were basically like, yeah, as long as you're answering questions in a more general way and you're just posting about yourself. So I'm not, you know, I'm posting about my experiences, things like that, that you should be fine. So that kind of took the fear, I guess, that I had out of actually telling people that I was a physician. I will say, since I put now that I'm a physician, I do get a lot of DMs now. But I basically respond to the DMs in a general manner, because, you know, I just really can't give medical advice over Instagram, you know? But that was the thing. So that's kind of how I, started. But yeah, I was hiding my physician status for a little bit. I definitely was.
You're breaking up a little bit here. Then the next day I look at it and I go, wait a minute, this is, you got more degrees than a thermometer on your page. I go, man, who is this lady?
You're like, what happened? Who's that? Yes. Like, I'm hoping to add another one. Like I said, I'm sitting for the obesity medicine boards in February. So
there you go.
I would like to
add
that.
Hello.
Because the thing is, I like to understand diseases, and I think we get a lot of medical advice or weight loss advice, but we don't understand the science behind it. And I feel like if we understand the science, you can tackle it. So
that's right.
That's my focus now. And then I was going to ask you, so you talked about how your fasting's changed over time. What tips do you have for people who are just getting started, either in intermittent fasting or going low carb, or even any tips for avoiding nighttime snacking?
Well, what I would, if somebody wants to, I mean, I get that question asked all the time. How did you start it? What makes, you know, just start. I mean, we all know how to lose weight. Everybody knows how to lose weight. We just got to do it. Stick to it. And I think just consistency is the main thing. You got to stick with it. You can't just stay with it for a week or two. It's got to be your lifestyle, at least for me. You know, you just got to stay with it. I think any program, any diet, any diet out there will work as long as you stick with it.
Right.
That's the main thing. You know, you can go on the watermelon diet and lose weight, you know, as long as you stick with it.
Right.
You know, so consistency is the main thing. So I would just say people, from my point of view, is cut out all the carbs, cut out all the, you know, or cut down on them at least cut down on them, and you're going to see changes, and start drinking more water. That's the main thing. I think water is a big part of, you know, of losing weight, you know, so just cut out little things, and there'll be, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, on the weekends I have a hard time, you know, so, but you can always make changes. I mean, you can go, for example, I work next to a Burger King, Carl Jr., KFC next door. So if I don't bring lunch, I can go and eat a low carb burger, or, you know, they even sell salads. You know, who do you can buy a salad at a fast food place?
Right.
You know, so little changes like that and would work. But the main thing is you got to start. I mean, you can't just say it, or you know, you can't, you know, like I tell people, you can see all the before and afters, you know, read all the motivational quotes. They don't mean nothing if you don't have it in your heart to start and stay with it. You know, you never know what's going to happen if you just stay long enough with a journey. So that's what I tell people. And don't think about that you have to lose, you know, 100 pounds or 200 pounds, or just do it 1 pound at a time. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's the main thing. That I think just your whole concept's got to be there. Your mindset's got to be on the right place to start a journey, because, you know, you can, the time's got to be right for you to start. Maybe you have to gain more weight before you start. You know, maybe right now you don't want to start right now. And the other thing is that I don't push anybody. I don't tell anybody, you know, if they have to come to me. If they come to me, I'll help them out. I'll tell them what to do. but there's no way I'm gonna, like, you know, preach to them or whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, and I think that's important too, because we learned about this in medical school, but then I forgot. And so I recently learned about it again. But it's kind of like the stages of the action. And so you
Right.
have the pre-contemplative phase where it's before the person even realizes that they have a problem. Either they're not acknowledging it, or they don't see it as a problem, or whatever. And if you are trying to talk to people in that phase, you're wasting your time. You're either going to push them further away. You know, they at least have to be in the contemplative phase where they're kind of like, okay, I'm recognizing that maybe X problem is actually an issue. You know, maybe I don't know how to change it yet, but at least I recognize it. And
yeah, because
so
I can remember when I was real big.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, there you are again. I can't tell if it's your connection or my connection, but I see you again. You were saying when you realized when you were initially heavier. Oh, Al, can you hear me?
When I was heavier, I didn't want people to come tell me that I need to lose weight. That's what I was saying. I know that I'm fat. I know that I'm big. And the last thing I need is someone to preach to me, hey, you got to lose weight. You got to lose weight. So that's why I don't tell that to people now, unless they ask me first.
Right. And so that's kind of hard, you know, that's one of those things. And then the other thing is I'm starting to scroll through some questions now, because we had some questions come in. Someone asked about, a few people commented on snacking at night. Do you have any tips on how you cut down your nighttime snacking?
What's that?
Your nighttime snacking. Do you have any tips on how to stop that or decrease it, eating at night?
Well, I think I think it's all on your mind, really. If you gotta, I mean, sometimes you are hungry, and sometimes you're not. You're just bored. It depends what you're doing. If you're watching TV, then a lot of time, I would say 90% you're bored, and you want to snack on something because you're so used to doing it all your life.
Right.
You know, but I would say if you need to snack, I mean, if you're in the beginning of your journey, I would say that's fine. I mean, if that's gonna, you know, if that's gonna help you a little bit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little snack. Now, you gotta snack on something that's, you know, not fattening. You know. Now, the other thing I notice is with the word healthy. I think that people misunderstand health and fattening. Because there's some healthy foods that will make you fat. I mean,
yes,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So when people say, "Oh, I'm eating healthy," you know, I'm gonna eat healthy, you know, and they're eating a lot of carbs and stuff, even though they're quote healthy. I go, don't confuse the word healthy with non-fattening when you're trying to lose weight. I mean, if you're already in tip-top shape, then that's fine. Healthy food is healthy food. But that's the thing I tell people. That's one thing I tell people. Don't confuse healthy food with non-fattening food.
Right. Well, and the thing is too, and I have a couple people, I posted this on Facebook, so I don't post about gluten on Facebook anymore because people feel all kinds of ways about that. But the thing is that there are gluten-free treats. And so people are like, oh, this donut says gluten-free. So now I can still have my donut every day. No, it's still a donut. You know what I mean? Like there is still processed sugar and there's still stuff like that. So
yeah,
you know, no one
exactly.
Yeah, and so then you end up. What I find a common mistake people make is that when they're going, you know, healthy, just like you said, they go find all these healthy snack bars and healthy this and healthy meal replacements and healthy blah blah blah, and by the time you add it all up, you're having just as much sugar or artificial sugar, which is equally as bad as you would have been if you were just like, you know what, I'm just going to keep it simple and my healthy snack will be an avocado. you know, so it's one of those, reduced fat Oreos. Exactly. You know, stuff like that. So,
Right.
You have to be careful about that. And I think that, low carb works for a lot of people. But when people are saying low carb, you know, there's lots of different ways to do low carb as well. And you can actually be plant-based and be low carb. When we talk about carbs,
I have a family member that's plant-based and does low carb also, and intermittent fasting.
Yes. And so the thing is, when we say, or at least I'll speak for myself, when I say low carb, I also truly mean low processed foods, because not too many people out there are overdosing on broccoli. That's not what's getting them. You know, it's not the broccoli, it's not the cauliflower. It's the processed things in a package that come from a factory. You know, my mom, I'm going to quote her because she told me this quote, but she said, get your foods from a plant, not in a plant. I didn't say that right, but get your foods from vegetables, not something that was made in a factory. I totally butchered that. So I mean, I think all of those things, you know, are key. So Al, we have went almost now. I usually try to keep it to 30 minutes. We're at 40, but I don't know. I mean, you just so great, you know, to talk to. Is there anything else?
Fine. That I mean, hey, let's go. You know, I'm off work now, so we can go.
Okay. I'm 2 hours ahead of you. I'm gonna have to get off eventually so I can go to sleep. But
don't forget you're later over there where you're at right now. Here at 7 o'clock.
I'm over here
in California.
I'm in Middle America here, so. But no, I'm scrolling through just to see. So somebody asked, how long do you fast for? And I think that's because they joined maybe a little late, but you had already said that you
okay.
Yeah, go ahead and talk more about that.
I've been fasting. Normally I try to keep it between 12 and 6. Okay, but then since Saturday, like I said, I do 1 meal a day. The longest I fasted was for 48 hours. So it depends on how I'm feeling, you know, my work schedule too, you know, because sometimes when you're fasting at work, you're kind of grumpy, you know. That's what they're saying. So anyway, I like to do my fasting around incorporated with my days off. So anyway.
Yeah.
But the main thing I think is the snacking. Like I said, if you're in the beginning of your journey, I guess you're gonna want to snack because it's natural. You've been snacking all your life. It's hard to go cold turkey and not snack. So yeah, that's fine. But for me, that I've been doing it for years, you know, and I got a little bit more. I mean, I wouldn't say discipline, but I kind of just ask myself, am I really hungry? And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say no. I'm not hungry. I'm just bored. So I just drink some water. You know, if, like I said, at first, when I wasn't really getting hungry, you know, I got a little cup of broth, of chicken broth or beef broth.
Yeah.
You know, that would kind of kill the hunger at the beginning, you know, when I was new at this too. So little things like that, or coffee, you know, drink some coffee too. But not at night. I guess a lot of people can't drink coffee at night. I can. I can drink coffee all night and go to bed and go to sleep with no problem.
No, I'll be wired if I drink coffee at night. But I think you said several key things. One is that we all know that there are different things that, you know, eventually would be good if we kick that habit. So, you know, night eating, snacking, and all of these things. But again, when you're starting off on a new journey, I think you need to focus on one thing at a time, and then you can build on that. Because I see a lot of people stop weight loss plans because they tried to do everything at once. So they were like, okay, tomorrow I'm never having sugar again and never having a carb and I'm never snacking and I'm not going to eat after 6.
That's not going to work.
And you can't.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
Correct. So I think whether it be slow steps, you know, everyone can't start off fasting for 14 to 16 hours. Maybe you
Yeah, I
just
don't
tried
even.
10 hours and then you slowly build
Right.
on that. But even shorter times will have benefit for your body, because you're breaking up the constant need to always have your body processing food, and you're giving it time for rest and
Right.
recovery. So the thing
Right.
is, you know, everyone's
Right.
different, and you just have to pick something to start with, and then over time you can improve as you go. So I think those are all key. Well,
Right.
uh,
Can you hear
yep,
me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me okay? Oh, it's kind of getting fuzzy.
A little bit here. Hang on. Let me see. Let me move my phone around here.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I hear you.
Oh, there we go.
So,
All right.
yeah, no, and
Yeah.
and
So go
yeah, no,
ahead.
I was just saying, for people not to get overwhelmed. I think they may hear all of the tips that you gave, and you know how you cut out sugar and how you don't snack anymore. But I think the
Well,
important thing
that
for
took
them,
that took over years. I
it
mean,
took.
that took
That's what I was gonna
years.
say. Exactly. It
Yeah,
was a
that
work
was
in
about
progress.
like 2, 3 years. Right. I would tell people, just why don't you just stop by cutting out a lot of fattening things out of your life. You know, I mean, what makes you fat and what don't. I mean, we all know that already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody knows. Like I said, we're all experts. I think everybody's an expert in losing weight. All we got to do is apply it.
Right, right. And then if you do find that you have gaps in your knowledge, then look it up more, you know, and find out different
Right,
approaches.
right. You know, you got the internet. You can Google anything. I mean, you can read up on it.
Yep.
You know, it's there's a lot of help out there nowadays.
There's
And
more.
then the other thing that I
Mhm.
notice is posting it to social media. It helps motivate you, because it helped me. Because you don't feel like obligated to your friends and followers, you know, to stay with it. And they everybody's encouraging you. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, no. And the other thing too, you know, if find someone, so this can make, or sometimes, I don't know, this can be a double-edged sword, because I like to say find a partner or find someone who you can do this with. But just make sure whoever you choose as your motivation partner is actually like wanting to do it, because people can also make you backslide. So, I mean, I think what you said earlier is that you just within have to have reached that phase where you've decided to make the change, and you have to do that regardless of who is around you. Because if you rely too much on other people to be your motivation for support, if they backslide, then you backslide. And so you don't want to do that. Find something that's going to work for you, and just acknowledge other people may do different things. You know, when I get comments, you know, people make snide remarks like, oh,
Right.
yeah, she doesn't eat lunch. She's not going to eat. And I just look at them and I smile, and I go back and go for a jog or go do something productive with my lunch hour. You know, because I like to make the most of every hour that I have in the day. So that
Exactly.
you just
Go
have
for
to
a
do you.
walk. Yeah, let's try it again here.
I see you.
You know, I see you, but sometimes you freeze up on me. That's fine.
Okay.
I got you now. There we go.
I got you. All
I
right.
got you.
And then just someone said that,
Okay.
so this is Life. The Life app is on tonight. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Life app, but it's a fasting app that allows you to fast with friends. And basically, if you download the app, it's free. You can fast with other people. So like, for instance, my fasting circle that I'm a part of, with some other people too. So this app is saying that there's some good research out there, but it's true that most people don't even fast for 8 to 10 hours a day. Most people stop eating so late at night that they don't even get in 8 or 10 hours of gut rest. So
Right.
again,
Right.
if you just make small changes, maybe stop eating by 7 o'clock and then have breakfast at 7 a.m. That's 12 hours right there. Let your sleep help you fast, you know, let sleep work for you. And I think that's key.
Right. I think I mentioned it to you. I find out what breakfast means. Break fast.
Yes.
Because you're
Yes.
breaking the fast from not eating from the day before.
Correct. And so if we think about fasting and just how, you know, not to get too preachy, but how this has just been a part of human life since the inception of human life. And the fact that we have words that signify breaking a fast, as breakfast being intended to break your fast from the day before. I mean, we could all probably benefit from incorporating a little more gut rest into our life. So I think it's,
definitely.
I think it's a good thing.
I agree 100%.
Yes. So, well, Al, what we'll do is I'm going to wrap it up, but thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Anytime.
I was going to say, I'm sure I'm going to bug you again to come on, because it was definitely a pleasure speaking with you. And I think it's important for people to see real life people. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I can have lots of, you know, I think there's value from hearing from medical professionals as well. But I also think talking with people who've actually lived it and are doing it every day, I think that helps people to realize that they can do it too. And your wife is on watching, and she is extremely proud of you as well. She's giving you lots of heart signs.
I see that.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, you said what? She's in the other room.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Al, thank you for joining us, and I hope everyone has a good night and a good week.
Thank you, doctor.
All right. I'm sure I'll be seeing you around on the gram.
Oh, yeah. I'll see you.